A young man lived with his 75-year-old father in his father's beautiful house. He recently got married, and on his new wife's request, he decided to take his father to an old people's home about 50 miles away from where they lived. The facility chaplain, an older man in his 70s, welcomed them when they arrived at the elderly man's room. The chaplain recognized the new resident and started chatting with the young man's father. The young man was surprised and asked the chaplain, "You seem to know my father?" The chaplain responded, "Yes. 32 years ago I was in charge of an orphanage, and we had a little boy at the orphanage who was abandoned by his drug-addicted mother. The boy was very sick and emaciated, and nobody would adopt or foster him. This man heard about the little boy at the orphanage. He said the little boy deserved to be loved, and he decided to adopt him. And he gave that boy a wonderful, loving home. He raised the little boy as his own, since he and his wife did not have any children of their own. The boy was raised without wanting for anything, and he became successful. The man's wife died 2 years ago, and now he appears to need little help to get by. The little sickly boy at the orphanage was you, and this man here is that man that God used to save the little abandoned child." When the young man heard this, he fell on his knees and begged his father for forgiveness. He said he knew he was adopted, but he didn't know until today that his adopted father was the only person in the world who loved him enough to take him home and raise him when everybody else turned their backs on him. With tears running down his eyes, his father said to him, "You threw me out of my own house because of your new wife, and so that you can take over my house and everything in it. After your mother died, you moved into my house saying you were coming to take care of me. But you never did anything for me in the 2 years since you moved in. Instead, I pay for people to come into the house to help me with the few things I need help with. Now that you're married, your wife wants me out of the house and you agreed. Maybe you didn't tell her that the house belongs to me. I thought you loved me, but I don't think you do. I agreed to come here so that you'd have enough time to get all your belongings out of my house and leave. You have 3 days to do so. Contrary to your belief, I never changed the deeds of the house to your name. I still own that house and all the other investment properties that I bought. Also, I have removed your name as the sole heir of my estate. Everything I own, including all my properties, has been willed to the 3 caregivers who have shown me love and compassion when you did not. They have taken turns cooking my food, washing my clothes, making my bed, and taking care of me since my wife died. They listened to me tell them the same stories over and over again without appearing bored or impatient with me. They have shown me much more love than you ever have. You never sit down with me to talk. You only say 1 or 2 words to me on your way in or your way out of the house. You have been treating me like an outsider, and now you fired the caregivers taking care of me so that you could bring me here. Those caregivers will return to continue to take care of me after you're gone. I want you and your wife gone by the time I return to my home. The lesson from this, my people, is this: do not forget where you came from. Do not forget those who helped you when you needed help, or those whose input in your life helped you get to where you are today. Do not discard your parents in their old age. If they cared for you when you were young, in their old age you should take care of them. Spend time with them, because old age is a lonely time for most elderly people. Every day be a blessing to those who are less fortunate than you are. When you wake up, ask God to use you as an instrument to bless everyone you meet. Don't let selfishness make you lose your glory and your special place with God.